Hey y'all, welcome back to Melinda's Messy Sink. Obviously, I'm Melinda. I am so excited today. Today, all things Easter is on the brain. Last year, we didn't really get to celebrate Easter due to COVID. We couldn't go to church, we couldn't gather as families. So I'm really looking forward to this year. I'm excited to see all the kids dressed up at church on Sunday and excited to get a chance to spend this Easter with my family. Today, we are going to start off our Easter recipe series. We will be making jazzy baked beans. This is my version of a semi-homemade baked beans. They are perfect if you're short on time or if you're trying to cook multiple dishes. They're easy, they're just chopping up a few ingredients, mixing some things together, and you can store those the night before. You can do all of your prep ahead of time and then put them in the refrigerator, and then you'll have one thing you can check off the list, and Easter morning all you'll have to do is bring them up to temperature and bake them. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna gather our ingredients and then we'll be ready to get things started. To review the ingredients that we'll need today, we're going to use a can of Bush's baked beans, ketchup, regular yellow mustard, green pepper, onion, and light brown sugar. We need to head over and preheat our oven. We are going to preheat at 350 degrees. We'll go ahead and let that get started. All right, what I'd like to do next is show you how I handle my green pepper, all right? There's probably a zillion different ways to do this, but this is what I found easiest for me. First, you're going to wash your pepper and make sure it's good and dry. And then I take a knife and I go down the outside edge of the pepper, which is not, oh, there it goes. All right. And then if you see those membranes in there and the seeds, I try to stay on the outside of those. So I'm gonna go about here. I need to have my husband sharpen my knife, there we go. All right, this recipe calls for a quarter cup of green pepper for the small can of green beans. So I'll finish coring this and chopping this pepper and put it in the freezer for another dish, but I'm sure that these two pieces are plenty for what we need for now. So in order to cut our green pepper, we're gonna cut strips. However big or small, it's completely up to you and your family's preference. And then I like to kind of stack them together and just start chopping. Now, some people may look at this recipe and go, I don't like onions, I don't like green peppers. You can make this your own recipe. However you want to doctor up your baked beans or your semi-homemade baked beans is completely your preference. I would suggest you give it a try though, because I'm not a big onion fan, and when these are cooked, you really cannot taste the onion. It just enhances the flavors of everything else that is in the baked beans. And if you happen to see any bigger pieces in there, you can chop those up. All right, so what we're looking for is a quarter of a cup. I feel like I've said this like a bazillion times, but just remember that you will need to adjust your ingredients based on however large of a container of baked beans that you buy. All right, I'll get these green peppers in, and then we're gonna peel our onion, get it chopped, and I'll meet you back at the bowl. So the brand of baked beans that I bought, they are pretty much already have a flavor combination to them, and we are going to enhance it. And we do not really need to cook the beans because they've already been through the cooking process, but we need to cook the vegetables and the sugar into this base. And we also need to, get everything heated. All right, now that I've gotten all the ingredients prepped, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start combining. The first thing we're gonna add to our baked beans that I already have in the bowl is 1 teaspoon of yellow mustard and 2 teaspoons of ketchup. And then we have 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar. And we're gonna wanna combine this well, combine this well to make sure there are no clumps of brown sugar. And then whenever you do not see any clumps, then you can go ahead and add in your 1/4 of a cup of onions, 1/4 of a cup of green pepper, and you're gonna combine again. Now, this is where the recipe becomes, where you can make this recipe your own. I like a good mixture of beans with the onions and green peppers. My husband, on the other hand, he likes a little bit more green pepper and onion than I do. So if you look at it and you think, I don't see very much onion or I don't see very much green pepper in there, this is your recipe. Go ahead and add some additional. But this is what it looks like typically after I've added the 1/4 of a cup of each, just to give you an idea. But if you want more green pepper, great. If you want more onion, great. This is completely your call. All right, so once you get everything good and stirred, then you're ready to transfer this into your mixing bowl. I have a glass container that I'm going to use here, and I like to just do a quick spray of non-stick spray. It's not like the beans are necessarily going to stick, but it makes it much easier whenever it comes time to cleaning up. So we're going to transfer our beans from our mixing bowl into our baking dish. And I always try to get all that good stuff out of there. All right, get that out of our way. So now, if you were prepping this dish ahead of time, now would be the time that you would want to cover it and put it in your refrigerator until you were ready to cook it. If you're gonna cook this now, then we can go ahead and add the bacon. The bacon is your preference in how you do this. Some people lay strips of bacon on the top, others have pieces of bacon that they crumble on the top. I did a little bit of both just to show you guys what it would look like. So I cut the bacon in half, and you would just lay it on the top. All right. Now, I also went ahead and cut up some strips of bacon, and you have just like chunks of bacon that you can sprinkle all over the top as well. If you've never put bacon on top of anything before, like baked beans, just know that whenever these baked beans are done, it is not gonna look like a piece of bacon that's been fried. It's not gonna crisp up, it's just not. Or, unfortunately, If you cook it that long, then your beans may be dried out. So really what you're trying to do is render the flavor of the bacon into the beans. Now, obviously you don't have to put this much on yours. Let me wash my hands. You do not have to put that much bacon on the top of your dish, but I just kind of wanted you to be able to see what it would look like, and then you can see what it looks like whenever it's done as well. So we are going to put this in a 350-degree oven for 35 minutes is where I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to check it then to see how we're coming along. And when we come back, I will let you know exactly how long I cooked this. You do not need to cover it. We just slide it into the middle shelf of the oven on 350 degrees. We're going to cook it for 35 minutes. We're going to check it, and then we'll be back to see how long it cooked, as well as to see what the finished product looks like and to give it a test. See you shortly. Okay, y'all, I'm back. Our finished product has come out of the oven. We cooked these for 30 minutes on a 350-degree oven. Just to give you an idea here. All right, so 350 for 30 minutes for this batch size. If you'd like to try to get your bacon a little bit more well done, just be careful that you do not overcook and your beans get dried out. What I do is, I don't know if you can tell from the camera or not, but the edges of this bacon is crispy, or you can tell that it's done, and you can see all the flavor that has soaked down into the beans. So I think I mentioned to you earlier that I don't really, my husband likes the bacon, but I don't, so I just kind of scoot it to the side. I want the flavor of the bacon, but I don't necessarily want the piece of bacon, so I kind of scoot that to the side and I get my baked beans around it. And as a reminder, it's completely optional. All right, so what I thought we could do would be to give them a try. They are super smoking hot. So I'm gonna scoop me some out in a little bowl, and then I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about some pan options and that kind of stuff. Let me get a scoop. Whoops. My whole house smells like baked beans. They smell delicious. And I'm not sure if you can see that steam, but they are hot. So I'm gonna put me a little sample in there and let those cool off before I give those a try. So now if you are going to like a pitch-in or like a cookout, barbecue, these are great to take, and you can put them in a aluminum container. That way, the host, she doesn't have to do another dish, or you don't have to stick around to make sure that you get your dish, or remind yourself to pick up your dish from so-and-so's house. The aluminum pan situation is a great option because when you're done, you just pitch it. We like baked beans with ham, pork chops. We like them with like burgers and hot dogs on the grill. It really truly is your preference what you like to serve with baked beans, but they go with a lot of different meats. The other nice thing that you could do is you could make baked beans if you had some leftover pulled pork, and you could chop up, pull your pulled pork and add to your baked bean mixture. That would be nice as well. If you had some leftover ham, you could put those in your beans. So just kind of think about some different flavor combinations, and you might want to give those a try as well. So I told you about the aluminum pan. I told you about the different kinds of meat. I'm trying to think. It seems like there was one other thing that I was wanting to tell you. I'm not sure, but I hope everybody's had a really good weekend, and I hope these are done being lava hot so that we can have a little try. So in my first cooking video, whenever I took this humongous bite, I had my rubber bands in my mouth, and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna chew all this on camera and not just have a complete disaster going on? So I'm gonna take a little bite this time because I learned my lesson the first time. And these are still really, really hot. So I'm shooting I'm shooting this video on my new camera. I got it set up, which is a bonus, and we're gonna see what the film looks like after this. So I feel like I've been a little sidetracked during this video because I've been paying attention to the camera to make sure it was doing what it was supposed to be doing. But I got it set up, and so I feel like I'm getting a little bit closer to getting this down, and then we can start fine-tuning the different things. So each bite has a little bit of green pepper, a little bit of, let's see if that'll focus in on that. I don't think it will. Okay, so you're gonna have to take my word for it. Each bite has a little bit of green pepper, a little bit of onions, but like I said earlier, you can't really taste the flavor of strong onion. It just incorporates everything together. They are delicious. They're a little sweet, they're savory, they're kind of buttery tasting almost. They're luscious, they are so good. And you saw how easy they were to make. We just took a store-bought can and we doctored them up a little bit and put them in the oven. Fast. You can easily do these for a weeknight meal to serve your family. There's a lot of different options that you can do with these. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think whenever you try them. As a reminder, I'll make sure that all of the recipe information is in the description box below. And please leave me a comment on what you like to have with your baked beans, or if you even like baked beans. I would also ask that you like and follow Melinda's Messy Sink. Tell your friends about our channel. We would love to have the more the merrier join us. Also, if you're on YouTube and Instagram, please look for Melinda's Messy Sink and follow us there as well. I also welcome any recipe ideas that you would like for us to make together. Just drop me a note in what's something that you've been wanting to learn how to make, and we'll figure it out together, and we'll definitely welcome all suggestions. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget that Jesus loves you, and I'll see you in the next video.